We are back! That's right, we are back! This is Football 101, and yes, I am your host, The Beetle, and we are officially back. We are officially back for another Football 101 show. This is show number 17, and it's about the Carolina Panthers. What's up, Carolina Panthers? Come on, man! Oh, man. Did you see Thursday night's game? Come on, man. Yes, I'm borrowing what my boys said on ESPN a couple of years ago. But this show is about the Carolina Panthers, period. Thursday night game. They blew it against the Tampa Bay Bucks. Lost it on the last drive. And they're 0-2. 0-2. So this show, I don't know how long this show going to be, but I had to put something out there after the disgust, the poor effort from the Panthers last night, and I just have to. I just have to make a. I was going to wait until after. I was going to wait until after week 2. But I was so disgusted because I saw the game. I'm in North Carolina. Yes, I'm in North Carolina. And I was disgusted what I saw on Thursday night game. Come on, y'all. Come on, man. Yeah, this is the Beetle. I want to thank all our listeners out there. I want to thank Podbean for helping us. And, by the way, if you want to email me, just email me at ejb88@92gmail.com. That's ejb88@92gmail.com. But I want to thank all our supporters, Podbean and iTunes, the Apple Podcasts. I want to thank Spotify. I want to thank YouTube. And now I want to thank our new supporter, Google Play Music, Google Play Podcast. Yes, we are officially live as I speak. They're uploading all our Football 101 podcasts today. And we are so delighted that Google Play, you can download us on your phone, play us anywhere, all your devices, and Google. So thank you, Google. So again, this is Football 101, and this is real football talk from a real football player. And I am the Beetle. I played back in the day, in the 70s, high school, college, and so I know how it feels to be in a game when you're not truly ready for the start of the season. Let me just say this. I'm going for it. Let me just say this. The Panthers look lethargic. The Panthers don't know what their identity is. They really do not know what their identity is. From game 1, when they played the LA Rams, they really played a halfway decent game, but they made a lot of mistakes. They could have won that game against the Rams last week. But the Rams are the Rams. They have super talent. They have excellent coaching. That was a smart played game by the LA Rams. Recognizing it's the first game of the season. They were coming from the West Coast to here in North Carolina. It was hot, humid. They really paced their players and their running attack, and they knew that the only thing that they were going to do is just try to manage the game, not score so many points, but manage the game based upon it was the first game of the season, and everyone doesn't have their legs under them the first game of the season. That was apparent with the LA Rams last week. That was apparent with the Panthers last week. Not in sync. Not enough time together. And let me just say this. Yes, it has to go through the quarterback, Cam Newton. and I'm going to get to Cam a little bit later, but he was off last week against the Rams. He was off last week against the Rams, and they relied upon Christian McCaffrey, Mr. Workhorse, Mr. Efficient, Mr. Superstar, Mr. Guess what? He wasn't even voted to the All-Pro last year, but now he's the workhorse. This is a guy all experts said he couldn't run in the NFL. He's too small. He couldn't take the pounding. Well, guess what they did last week? They gave the ball to Christian McCaffrey a lot. Over 200, 200 some yards catching and receiving. So they obviously have shifted the emphasis of their offense to Christian McCaffrey, and not just Christian, but a different style of offense. That is, now they're going for speed and efficiency, not the ground and pound, keep pounding mentality that has been a part of the Panthers organizations for a decade or so. Now they're shifting to speed. Speed. No matter what your size is. And usually, right now, it's smaller size athletes out there, skilled athletes. So, again, they lost against the Rams. Could have won that game. But then, last night, Thursday's game, was a direct reflection of where they're struggling on offense. Their defense is fairly decent. It's upper tier. I really I always love their defense. But again, they just simply, again, my just view of this, because I've just seen both games in their full capacity. I didn't see highlights. I saw the full game, because I'm here in North Carolina. And yes, man, did they have opportunities in the first quarter, in the second quarter. Again in the third and fourth, but they settled for field goals. And let me just say this. The Bucks, Tampa Bay Bucks, were struggling. They were struggling. They looked bad the previous week. I happened to see that game when they played San Francisco. They got beat by San Francisco at home. By Garofalo at home. Winston looked bad at home, throwing bad interceptions. They looked horrible at home. Under their new head coach, who I really like, by the way. Their new head coach, Bruce Arians. He's Mr. Cool. He's got his Kango hat on. He's Mr. Cool. He's come back out of not out of retirement. He just came back from the booth, and he has his offensive coordinator. Who is it? Oh my gosh! Hold on. Offensive coordinator Byron Leftwich used to be quarterback for the Jaguars way back in the day. And they have, gotta move things around in the studio. And, of course, they have Todd Bowles as defensive coordinator. New complete staff. He has, I learned last night, he has the largest coaching staff in the NFL. He has the largest coaching staff in the NFL. And he believes in equal opportunity across the board. Men and women. He has women coaches on his staff. So Bruce Arians, he's changing around the philosophy, and he's giving Winston a chance to rediscover himself, because Jameson, this is his contract year. So you know he's going to try to be balling this year, but he looked bad the first week. Second week against the Panthers, he looked much better. I was surprised. Jameson got out of the pocket, rolling around, threw the ball down the field, made some big plays. Not the greatest plays, but he threw the ball deep to Evans. And let me just say this. Again, he did just enough. But if the Panthers and Cam Newton actually spent some quality time during the preseason with his first offense, they would have won this game convincingly. Again, not enough time with his first team offense and throwing the ball to Curtis Samuels, to Torrey Smith, to Greg Olsen, to DJ Moore. Now, this is a complete different set of wide receivers than they just had a couple of years ago. They were big. They had big, tall wide receivers just a couple of years ago. Now, they're going for speed. Speed and separation. They realize now with the offensive coordinator, Norv Turner, who's trying to take advantage of the faster, smaller wide receivers and the running backs. They still don't know how to take advantage of them, to use them effectively. Let me just cut through the chase. What's the problem is we have an old school coach, Ron Rivera, old school coach, ex-linebacker for the Chicago Bears, trying to implement today's high speed, high action, fast offense. It's just not cutting it. Not right now. Because you just can't have high speed offense when you sometimes just need to get 1 yard. Their identity is in a flux. Because it showed itself on the most crucial play of the game when they couldn't get a half a yard and they sent Christian McCaffrey going left, sweeping left. I don't know what play that was, and Cam Newton was flanked off to the right. And Vernon Hargreaves II, may I say, he is a North Carolina resident and actually Vernon Hargreaves II actually went to one of the local schools, Hope Middle, back in the day here in Winterville, North Carolina. Yeah, how do I know that? I got the scoop because Vernon Hargreaves II used to go to Hope Middle. I remember him there because I took my son there, who's Darren Bailey. Darren Bailey was Vernon Hargreaves' classmate in Hope Middle way back in the day. So I've kept an eye on Vernon Hargreaves II, and yes, he's playing much better with the Tampa Bay Bucks as a defensive quarterback. And of course, I played quarterback back in the day, so I'm always attentive to the quarterbacks. And even surprisingly, Vernon Hargreaves II made the play of the game and saved the touchdown for the Bucks. Stop Christian McCaffrey from getting a first down at the 1 yard line or something, to 2 yard line or whatever. Of all people. And I tip the hat to him, even though he's been burnt a number of times. But I give the props to him for stopping it and winning and stopping the play, winning the game for the Bucks. But it should never have come down to a play like that. Think about it. Now, just think about it. I saw all the conversation on ESPN and all the talk shows, but just think about it. When you're the offensive coordinator and you have such talent as Cam Newton under center, and you have Christian McCaffrey in the backfield, you could bring in a heavier. I know they don't have big fullbacks, but you can bring in another tight end in the backfield. Yes, you can bring in another tight end in the backfield so that you can be physical. See, that's the thing is, they don't know how to be physical anymore. And yet, before, Cam Newton used to be physical. Now, on crunch situation, they flanking out and they give the ball to Christian McCaffrey. What happened to the ground and pound mentality that they used to have in Carolina? Hello. The only fullback that they have on the roster is Alex Armah. He's the only fullback. They used to have 2 or 3 fullbacks. Now they only have 1 fullback. You could even put a tight end in the backfield. Why didn't they put Greg Olsen in the backfield? Why couldn't they put Thomas Duarte in the backfield? But no, they left Christian McCaffrey back there to make the play. Now, all of a sudden, they made him the workhorse. That's not fair to Christian McCaffrey. He runs well between the tackles throughout each game, but putting the ball in his hand under that situation was wrong. And let me just say this, and I saw the press conference with Cam afterwards. Cam Newton stood up and he took the blame. I give him that. He said, I have not been playing well. He knows it. Cam knows it. He knows he has not been playing well. We know he's been aching. He has foot problems. He has shoulder problems. But it's game time. This is the season. You lost against a divisional opponent. 2 home games that you lost. 0-2. The season is lost. I said it. The season is lost for the Panthers. It's that simple. If you lose 2 home games at the very beginning of the season, you're not going to get those back when you're on the road. Ron Rivera, I feel for you, brother. And I don't want to say this, but it's not looking good for the continuation of Ron Rivera for the Panthers. I really like him. He's personable. He's relatable. But it's the philosophy of the team. They do not have an identity. It took them long to make the change. It took them longer than they should have make the change to, from the bigger pounding, bigger running backs and the ground and pound to a more fast and efficient. And again, they drafted these players and they didn't know where to put them. They didn't know what to do with Curtis Samuel last year. Even though he was injured, they still didn't know what to do with him. They really did not know what to do with him. And finally, DJ Moore, they didn't know how to do it, what to do with DJ Moore. He's found himself. Torrey Smith. They have Torrey Smith. They brought in Hogan. Chris Hogan from the Patriots. He has a championship ring. He saw some action. But again, they don't have an identity. Cam Newton is not regular season ready yet. He still needs about another game or 2 to get up to speed. He missed too many open wide receivers. I feel his pain. Yet this is the NFL, Cam. I'm glad you stood up. He's taking the heat. He's admitting that he's not ready. I'm a big Cam Newton supporter. He's still Mr. Superman. But he has to step up. He admitted he has to do some soul searching. He's going through some things. I don't know what he's going through, but he's going through some things. He's going through some things. Profiling, styling. You see his latest styles. You see his clothes. You see his do. Cam Newton just creating his own style. You know what he's doing. He's preparing for after football. Cam is in the world of Cam. Cam is in the world of Cam. But guess what, Cam? This is football. NFL football. You know it. This is your 9th or 10th year. All that other stuff outside of football needs to stay outside of football. Okay? And your teammates expect you to make the plays. They're not saying anything yet. But if this season gets really ugly, and it just may, you're going to start to see some players start talking by the end. I don't want to say it, but usually players start talking by the end. And it's looking tough for the Panthers. Fortunately, next week they go to Arizona. They go against Kyle Murray. I don't know what type of team it's going to be, but they're high action. They're fast. The Panthers got to get up. That's fast motion. That's going to be a challenge for them, quite frankly. I'm not a big Arizona fan, but they can win that game because Kyle Murray's a rookie. You can win that game. He's going to make mistakes. That's a winnable game. Then they go to Houston. That's a tough game. So they're going to have 2 away games for the next 2 weeks. And then they bring in Jacksonville. That's a winnable game because they have a new quarterback. Oh, by the way, Jacksonville has Minshew, a ECU not a graduate, but a ECU. He left. Defection. ECU defection. Minshew left. After 1 year or whatever, and went to Washington State, became a phenom, superstar, and now he's starting for the Jacksonville Jaguars. ECU defection. So again, they have Jacksonville, and then they go to Tampa Bay in London. Oh gosh. Then they go to San Francisco, Tennessee, at Green Bay, Atlanta, New Orleans, Washington, Atlanta, Seattle, Annapolis, and then finish with New Orleans at home. This season may get ugly. But they have a chance against Arizona. I can't see it against Houston. And I really, they got a chance against Jacksonville, but then in Tampa, it's tough. I don't know what I'm not going to call their season over, but it's going to get ugly. And when you go 0-2, oh man, and it's an uphill battle when you go on the road. At least they'll be away from the local media when they go to Arizona and they're going against a young team. So I see that the defense will have to step up, and I just don't know where they're going to go finish. But I think they it just doesn't. If they lose against Arizona, 0-3, it's all bad. The critical game really is Arizona right now. Because if you can at least get one win before you go to Houston, and then have Jacksonville with their stellar defense coming in here, and Jacksonville is a very quality, great team. Not great, but a solid team. They're a young team, but they're solid. But they rely upon their defense. So again, Arizona next week is probably the season for the Panthers. I'm putting it next week. That's why I'm calling it right now. I'm calling it. Next week, the Panthers Panthers must win against the Arizona Cardinals, because if they lose against the Arizona Cardinals, the season is over. Do you believe me? The season is over. If they lose against the Arizona Cardinals, it's over. They'll be 0-3. And if they're 0-3, it's over. You're going to start seeing players bail. And coaches starting to look elsewhere after 0-3. Think about it. This is a team that was expecting to win their division this year. They changed out the personnel. And now, if they go 0-3, wow, it's going to be a disaster here. So, I'm predicting that next week, I didn't even anticipate this, but next week is the most critical game for the Panthers and Cam Newton and Ron Rivera. It's that important. Hello, yes, I'm calling out Norv Turner. He's doing his best, but again, Norv Turner is old school. He has certain tendencies. He's not new school coaching. And what the Panthers need, oh gosh, am I going to say this? Yes, I'm going to say this. What the Panthers really need, oh my gosh, am I going to say this? I'm going to say this. What the Panthers really need is a coach like Sean McVay of the Rams. New school coaching. I'm calling it. New school coaching for today's players and the philosophy. I'm calling it. Yes, I said it. New school coaching for these new NFL players and the new scheme that is fast and furious. Not ground and pound. Not ground and pound. So, again, next week, I'm calling it. I'm calling it right now. Next week is the most pivotal game for the Carolina Panthers against the Arizona Cardinals. This is the season. Everything is, you got to make it or bust. This is it. I called it. Right now, Football 101 is calling it on the Panthers. Next week is it. It's the most pivotal game of the season. I'm trying to get everything working into the studio right now. Hold on. But next week is the most pivotal game for Cam Newton, Ron Rivera, and the boys. That's it. I'm almost going over. I'm out of here. If you agree or disagree, email me at ejb88@92@gmail.com. That's ejb88@92@gmail.com. And again, I've been to the Panthers game. I attended the Panthers in Bank America Stadium. A little shout out to Bank America Stadium, of all places. And it's not the greatest stadium, by the way. It gets hot there very easily, just the way it's shaped. But I've been to the Bank America's Panthers Stadium during preseason, during a regular season game. I saw the Ravens there too, by the way, during a regular season game with oh my gosh, the Ravens. And, oh man, with Ray Lewis and the boys, Reed and the boys, oh man, that was such a sweet game. But anyway, I digress. But Cam, step up. He's taking the heat. I know Cam can get in the flow. He just got to spend more time getting used to his wide receiver. He has to spend the extra time. And that's all it is right now. He can throw the ball deep. More time with your new core wide receivers and tight. And let me just say this: tight end, he's struggling out there. Greg Olsen, he's struggling with a back injury. You can just see he's struggling. He's not getting much separation. He's very stiff. I would be surprised if Greg Olsen makes it through this season. Let me just say this. This is Greg Olson's last year. I hate to say it, but he doesn't look good out there. So they really don't have an exceptional tight end. They have an efficient tight end, but that's where they need to have a faster tight end too. So again, it's the philosophy has to change. Coaching. Come on, Ron Rivera. I'm giving you props, and I've been a big supporter, but it's just everything is not connecting right now. So Cam step up, Christian he's stepping up. But you can't put too much pressure on Christian all the time. Curtis Samuels, finally they discovered him. Okay, he has massive speed. DJ Moore, come on, bring them all in. Use your talents, but a better call in offensive. They deserve to lose that game, by the way, to Tampa Bay. They deserve to lose that game. So I'm out of here. This is Football 101. Enough. I didn't even think I was going to go this long. I'm sorry, folks, but I just got riled up. I'm in North Carolina, folks. I got to support the North Carolina team and support the Panthers. So this is Football 101, and this is the Beetle. Wow. Let's do this. See you, folks. And this is Football